Yo, what up? This is a video response to Talkative Try and his brother who made a podcast today. And they were talking about a few different things with the state of the league that I wanted to reply to, but I thought it would be more fun to make a reply video than to just write a comment. So if they watch it, I guess tight. If not, I guess it doesn't really matter because I'm not a POE creator anyways. But they were talking, the first thing they were talking about is like how most, if not all, casters are using cast on ailment, elemental ailment, cast on crit, even people making cast on dodge rolls, and cast on dodge builds. I mean, and I guess the point is well taken. Like, it seems like you should be able to use individual spells and make effective builds without needing to trigger them in some way or trigger extra spells in some way. But I don't really have a problem with it. I like the build I'm playing. I do agree with them that most people are playing spark builds or some other form of like electric spell, lightning spell as their triggering spell. But for me, I just have this, so gain 15% from that, and then I forget which it's this one down here. And then that, so I have like 20% gain as extra lightning damage, and it wouldn't have been that way. Like, I would have needed a staff with gain as lightning on it, but I think because I do so much damage at this point, like I still shock. Like when I look at bosses and shit that stays alive long enough, you'll see like the 20% shocked comes up. So I'm getting the shock still, even though I'm using Frost Nova to trigger my spells, and I have a manual cast comment. So that's pretty much what like the boss rotation would look like. So drop the fucking sigil, put the infusions, manual cast comments, and when you have the Sands of Time, it gives you a bunch more area of effect. So like, it's small right now, but then it gets a lot bigger, and when you have Headhunter on top of that, like it gets really fucking big, and like the comments get huge too. And so honestly I like the big explosions from the infused comets and the infused like frost walls and shit. And I don't know, I know you get the infusions on some of the other builds, but a lot of them definitely don't have the big ass comments, and the big ass comments are fun. So yeah, the build works well. I'm doing over 300k on my cold infused comets with no sigil and no headhunter buffs or anything else. It gets above 500k fully buffed with headhunter. My comets are doing almost 1,000,000 fire infused from cast on ailment, and almost 800,000 on cast on crit. That's because cast on crit has a damage penalty and cast on ailment doesn't. But cast on ailment does not work well on single target. And my cast on crit works well enough by itself, but I just saw people casting hella comets and I was jealous that I didn't. And plus I was struggling on 200% deli, like with 70% effectiveness maps, and so having both fixed it for the most part, but I still could use. I need to test it more because I don't think I do quite enough when I switch to this setup. This setup I have Mysticism 2 on it, so it gives me 40% increased spell damage, and I don't know if it adds enough to make it more comfortably killing single target or not single target, but just triggering my initial like freeze. I don't know if it would make the threshold in 200% deli maps that much better, but bro, getting teleported into their stupid little things is the worst. Easiest fucking one of those things ever. Bro, I need a cranium. Give me some cranium. I haven't gotten an Omen Light. Omen of Light in so long, bro. Something's wrong.
in this object. I can feel it.
Bro, just give me a cranium.
I need more time. I can't do that yet. I can't do that yet. Stand, thank you. Not yet. I need more time.
Alright, it said don't kill it too quickly. Bro. I looked online and I was like, what does it mean if I'm still finding lots of abyssal echoes, but I haven't found an omen of light in forever? And it was like, you're killing them too quick. What's going on here?
I need more time.
That was so weird. Anyways, so that's the build. I don't know what happened on that boss there. Normally they both die the same. So fucking messed something up there, but I guess it displayed the tankiness of the multi-layer defenses there. Even though I think it's like 4K that I have here. It's even less now, because, oh no, I just don't have full health. So it's 29, oh yeah, just over 4K. 4K EHP, but in POB it says I have like 13 and a half effective health points, so I don't know how accurate that is when you have, when it's calculating the, fuck, I always forget what it's called. Phased form. It's but yeah, like I said, you could see at first it didn't look that great when you're just blowing up a couple little monsters here and there, but then once there's big packs of monsters everywhere, it's like fucking giant comets raining down. So yeah, I like this build a lot. I think triggering cast on crit with Ice Nova is way more fun than Spark, and I guess there was just a couple things that I wanted to say based on what you guys said. The first was on the ascendancies, which you said that a lot of them could be reworked to be more interesting, and I think that's true. I think Temporal Rift is pretty interesting. I was using it at the start, but then what I ended up doing is just having really just all utility. I have enemies in my presence are slowed by 20%, which stacks with my Blasphemy and Temporal Chains with slow potency. And then I have Now and Again, which is obviously great for casting my comets that have both. I'm pretty sure it's both. Well, they're definitely repeatable. I don't know about Cascade, but that's also good for my. The Cascade is good for my ice or frost wall. Sands of Time is the thing that gives me more AoE. It gives me more skill speed too, but they go up and down. But like I said, when you have the Sands of Time plus Headhunter, like, I mean, you saw it gets really big. But and then they take 30% less damage. So, I mean, it's technically none of this is like super interesting, but when you put it all together with the cast on crit and with the multi-layer defense, it like all of a sudden it becomes like a very viable build. Like, it's been doing good since way before I had it on this level with any of the expensive shit. So basically I switched to cast on crit fairly early in maps, and all I had done was crafted my first decent weapon, which I did with 2 alloys. I had the +5 all spells and the Transcendent alloy, and so it was a great weapon that carried me until I crafted another one, except it had more, had the other +1, the Celestial alloy, instead of the +5, because I started with a +7 base. So I got +3 more spell skills off of that. But yeah, so this is the build, and it's mostly crit damage and a little bit of extra elemental stuff and meta skill stuff. But then also the down here, the skill speed made a big difference as well, I felt. But this is not my build, this is Alexiu's build, but I took it further with the Absent Amulet and setting up this whole thing. His stops basically at no Absent Amulet, and I don't know, also no Zarok's Gift, no Helmet Anointment. Like, he didn't have a lot of stuff from the new league in there, because it was basically still his build from last league. I think a lot of that new stuff is probably on his second build, but I don't know because I didn't do it. I have this jewel that I crafted, which wound up being like super perfect, and this one went really well for me. And then I'm trying to craft another one to put in my gloves, because the one I have in my gloves could be better. So I have this one, and I had gotten it to be almost done. The suffixes were done, and I fucking forgot that I needed to annul the +1 suffix mod off the prefixes before I could start chaos spamming. I thought that I could just start chaos spamming it off, and I fucked my suffixes up, so I had to annul everything off and start over. And I guess I learned a hard lesson. The reason I thought it is because in chat there was a conversation going on about making these jewels, and someone had mentioned that in the second part of the craft, when you add the percent to suffix quality or whatever, what is it? This one, 50%, or 40 to 60% increased suffixes. When you add that, you have a 50-50 chance of of hitting either the one you want to keep or the one you don't. So if you hit the one that you want to keep, you can just start chaos spamming and it won't fuck up your suffixes. But before that, you have to have the one that gives you +1 suffix. And because we had been talking about just chaos spamming this way, I was thinking, oh, I can just chaos spam. Just fucking chaos spam it. But because it has the +1 suffix modifier on it, it leaves the slots open. So until you remove that, the slots are still vulnerable to being chaos spammed. And so I fucked that up and had to start over. And now it's costing me, I mean, it's not that bad when you consider how much they're worth. They're over 200 divine, so it's like, it's not that bad, but I apparently am either getting super unlucky recently or I got super lucky the first time. I think I'm getting unlucky because I've chaos spammed this one a bunch and I cannot fucking hit.
Yes.
Oh shit, I got some div. I cannot hit any of the crit modifiers.
I'll post it right away.
Like I spammed it so many fucking times. Well, not really. Not really. But I got it so easily before. All right. There we go, bro. I'm about to say this is getting outrageous. So then this is the part that I have failed this part like 3 times in a fucking row. And if I fail again right now,
Oh, it's you.
I'm going to be very sad. I don't know if there's enough.
Let's
I
see
wasn't
if there
paying
are any
attention.
takers.
I think I needed to buy one more.
All right, your order is registered.
Wait, do I really have 193? You gotta be fucking kidding me. Oh my god.
I'll post it right away. All right, your order is registered.
Okay. Bro. Oh my Lanta. We're back, boys. Alright, so at this point, the craft is basically done. All I gotta do is get a fucking cranium so I can hit another increased critical damage, then annul that +1 suffix modifier off, then add one more prefix, then chaos spam for the one that I want, then add one more prefix, and then it's a 50-50, and if I hit it, we're good. And since there is 3 suffixes, you can chaos spam and do the second emotion without having to worry about hitting any of the suffixes. The only reason I bricked this before and hit one of the suffixes is because I didn't remove this, which I should have known to do. I don't know. I remember doing it the first time when I made this one, but like I said, we had that whole conversation, and so I had it in my head that I could fucking chaos spam when I couldn't. But yeah, so that's how I made my personal jewels, and also a good profit craft as well. This is I'm making for myself, which I fractured T3 spirit because I could. I don't need higher than that. But I have this one that I made, and this one I can't sell, but I'm proud of it. I don't know if I should just finish it. There's one that's finished that's selling for 2,000, and I figured it was stressful enough hitting these that if someone actually wanted this body armor, finishing the suffixes themselves would actually be like, this would actually be probably better. I don't know, but it hasn't sold regardless. But yeah, that's where I'm at with the crafting, and I think I got super sidetracked with that. But I wanted to finish by saying the just a couple more things. So yeah, I was trying to remember where I left off. The ascendancies, even if there's not like a crazy cool thing like, oh, you can do a temporal rift back in time and become basically unkillable, or you get the extra gem quality, skill gem quality effects and all that other shit. Like, it would be cool if every single class had something like that, but ultimately I left the cool flashy thing and just went for a combination of utility, and it's like, even doing shit like that can work out and be good and super fun to play. So I don't know that everything that has to necessarily have this super like radical cool appeal that makes it stand out from the rest. Like, I think when people are creative, like Lexi, I don't know if I mentioned that, I think I did, but yeah, and they make a good build out of just the raw stats and numbers in the game and the utility of the different things, that it can also be really good. And then you guys mentioned that a lot of people play cold spells and lightning, and mostly lightning. You were mentioning the how everyone is playing spark cast on, and then Comet, which is a cold spell. But personally, I don't like playing Spark because I like freezing everything and blowing it up. So using the Ice Nova is way more fun, in my opinion, and you still get the benefit of the shock. So I don't know, it seems like a win-win to me. But I think the reason that it's like that is because the utility that you get from chilling and freezing enemies, and then the bonus damage from shock, it seems like it way outweighs anything that like ignite or poison gives you. Outside of like, obviously they can be nice for like boss damage and shit, but I don't know, when you think about the fact that before I had my build all super cracked out, I was just switching my Rakiata's flow from Ice Nova into cast on crit, taking boundless energy out and putting Rakiata's flow in on certain bosses that were hard, and then everything still worked great. And then now I still like everything dies immediately. I have no idea what was going on with that boss that I did in this example, why the elephant died but the what's his face didn't. But yeah, normally they both just immediately die. But once you get enough damage, it's like you don't even have to switch these around, and you're shocking everything. You're igniting it too, technically, because you're doing, it's 500,000 damage cold, and then it doubles that, it matches that with fire. So it's like, you're doing 500,000 fire damage. It's definitely enough to ignite. I have 20% gain as lightning, which when you're hitting these numbers, it's like you also wind up doing enough lightning damage to shock, and you can see it on the bosses, like it'll come up. So you're still getting the full benefit, and you're freezing everything, and there's really no downside as far as I can tell. And even when I played my monk, I played FG Corbin's build guide, and I still played Herald. It was Herald of Ice, Herald of Lightning, and it was because I wanted to freeze shit and make it explode. So I think just there's nothing that feels quite as satisfying, in my opinion, as that. And I think maybe it's literally comes down to like even the sound, like
Not yet.
the sound and the explosions like are so much more satisfying. So I don't know if they can get the right combination of thing for like, especially when they have swords and daggers and all this shit, like, and you're doing these stabby moves where blood's gonna be flying everywhere. Like, I hope that feels satisfying, because this just freezing shit and blowing it up and watching the comets come down is just so fucking satisfying. Like, I don't know how they can top it. Like, but I think that's a big reason of why a lot of other people play it too, is it's like just the way the animations work, the way it sounds, the way the utility of it works. It's just, I don't think other things are performing at that level. And so, yeah, I don't know, maybe you guys said something similar. I forget at this point everything you guys were saying, but that's my take on why people use the Ice and Lightning archetypes so much, as opposed to some of the other things that are available. Although, I mean, Rake is kind of popular, and I think that's physical, right? I don't know, I've never played Rake. But the last thing was, you guys were talking about how the game's too easy, and I kind of disagree with this a lot. Like, I played a lot on my first league, which was Dawn of the Hunt, and then I played all the subsequent leagues as well. But I kind of like I've never gotten a character above 97. This character, as a matter of fact, is level 97 right now, and I think like my first 3 or 4 times through the campaign, I didn't really understand the importance of leveling up my skills and getting the correct skill gems in. So even when I was following a guide, like I wasn't paying attention to what the guide said about the order. I would just be like, oh, okay, I'll just like read the descriptions of the skills of the support gems and like start figuring this shit out for myself. And that actually, it's funny because it helps you realize how big of a difference such small things can make. And I mean, the difference between, so this is a perfect example of this build. I try to do the campaign. I did do the campaign without following a build guide. I only knew that I was going to use Frost Nova, or no, I think for leveling, I don't think I used Frost Nova as much. I was using Frost Darts and Frost Wall for leveling, and it worked really good. Like it was a fine experience, but like I wasn't using. I don't think it was. Somehow I missed Zenith, or because it was. I picked other things first, and I hadn't gotten like Greater and Perfect Jeweler's Orbs yet. I just hadn't put it in, and I had fucking no clue how important Zenith was and how good Zenith was, and especially Zenith 2. But that's a perfect example of how one support gem can fucking drastically transform your build. And then so then I transferred to Cast on Comet, and I mean it's been pretty cruise control. Like at that point I just put all the shit from the build guide in, and then I've just been farming and crafting items and shit, and that part's been great. But I think when you say the game's too easy, maybe you're coming from the perspective of someone that maybe isn't giving themselves enough credit for the amount of game knowledge they have, because at this point now I feel pretty confident about trying my own build and crafting and going into the game completely raw without a build guide. Like I think I know enough that I could figure out what I'm gonna do, and like I look forward to them releasing a new class or a new ascendancy or something so I can try it. I'm tempted to play a different build, like a different league starter, because I want to try something that's just totally cracked as well. So I'm thinking of maybe trying whatever Fubgun does on League Start. But at the same time, what I really want to play is the Templar, and so whenever that gets released, I'm looking forward to definitely trying to make my own build. And I don't know what else if they release basically any sword or dagger class or any other melee class, like I'll for sure be trying that immediately and trying to do my own build, because like what's the point of looking up someone else's build when everyone's figuring it out for the first time? So it'll be fun, I think, in that scenario, especially to be doing your own build, trying to figure shit out with everyone else. But the game I don't think is easy. I think it becomes more easy once you know how to solve problems and you've done the boss fights enough time. But like even when I came back this season after not playing in a minute, like there are so many boss fights, bro, that I had to relearn the mechanics and died a couple times on. And then prior to that, like the first 2 or 3 times I did the campaign, maybe even 4, I died I died so much on particular bosses, like especially the first couple times when I just had no idea what I was doing. But the like there's Tavarian, there's Asmati, there's the fucking guy from Jade Isles at the end of Act 4. There's Geonor, fucking... I mean, literally every act boss has so many people in the campaign that are asking for help beating them. And so it's like, the fact that you can now do it easy if you do a bunch of shit correctly shouldn't be a surprise. And it's like, I mean, you could envision a scenario where you're playing a skill that just isn't strong. You really need to find, you know, a +1 or 2 skills weapon, and then like, you know, maybe a couple other things to get it to the point where you can effectively damage the boss. And if you don't find that, you kind of get stat checked, you get stuck right there. So I don't know, having enough damage and getting past all the bosses, I guess, is something that's semi-luck. I felt like this season that we're currently on, that the getting decent items throughout the campaign felt way easier. Like both raw drops and the shit in the store, like I was finding way more good shit. And I asked a few people in chat as well, and they said they had a similar experience, that it was way easier finding decent lower level gear. So I don't know. And I also haven't had a problem finding, even with just Alkin going, just finding enough div to start crafting shit. And so, I mean, learning to profit craft, learning to craft in general, learning how to find bases and even just fracture certain things, or even not fracturing shit when it's worth stuff. Like, I don't know, you start to learn how to. And then also a big one is like investing your currency and flipping it and stuff. So I don't know, you start to learn all these different ways that you can make money as well. And it's like, I don't know, I regret saying it, but I've got like 13 days on this character, and a lot of that has been spent trying to craft and trying to fucking just get target farm Rockiata's flow, or fucking just target farming, setting up fucking massive amounts of work to set up fucking zones for like 200% deli ritual farming and shit like that. And it's like, and earning the currency to then have a crafting session. And it's like, there's people that are so much more efficient at the game. And so it's like, it's sad, but I mean, fuck it. I was at a weird place in life, alright, and I fucking no-lifed the fuck out of POE. But I'm hoping that I'm at a point now where I don't even know if I'm going to play this next league, because I feel like I should take a break on principle, just based on how much I played it this last league. But I'm hoping that, like, I'm definitely not starting another character. I'm just going to keep min-maxing this one. So like right now, all I need to do is keep working on crafting this jewel, and then I have have this here that I need to finish the suffixes on, which has been a fucking bitch. I've spent like over 1,000 divine trying to craft this shit, which includes making, you know, this one as well, which is like perfect, and this one, which I fractured without divvying, and then the one that I'm working on, that I fractured T3 spirit because I'm just trying to stack health here, and I only need that much spirit. So I was getting frustrated. I had a whole graveyard of these missed fractures, and I was like, I was sick of spending so much money chaos spamming for absolutely perfect shit. And I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna try to fracture this, and of course I fucking hit this one. But and then this one, like, I'm so fucking bummed that I didn't hit % max health or sorry, yeah, percent max health here. But this one technically should be worth a lot, dude. Honestly, I'll lower it a little bit because
Let's see if that
I
piques
need
any
these divines
interest.
for crafting, bro. I fucking need these divine, bro. This can get lowered too. I don't know, these two-socketed ones are worth so much fucking more. And then these boots, oh my god. The bases for the boots, like non-fractured, are so fucking much. Wait, this can't be right. Am I fucking hallucinating? Or has the price just dropped drastically in the past not that long? So yeah, wait, this can't be right. Why is this showing listed 26 days ago, not available? But yeah, like I thought, fucking for item level 82 with two sockets is fucking 128 divine. Shit's crazy. But honestly, like there's really no other way. You have to learn how to craft. There's no other way. There's no other way. I fucking straight raw dog farmed the divs for this. I got my Rockiata's flow on Jade Isles maps. Like, I don't know, like I said, like I've not been efficient about getting currency and about crafting, and I've learned a lot this season in the process of doing so. And I don't even know, like, I'm not sure if I'm an efficient enough player to where I could get a build like this in, like, you know, 2 or 3 days playtime, like a lot of the pros do. But I at least understand how they're doing it. Like, I definitely don't feel any need to try to accuse anyone of, what do you call it, using RMT just because they get nice items anymore. Because it used to look so impossible. It was like, how the fuck are people doing this? And then, like, then you realize you're like, oh, this one particular, because I didn't fuck up on it and I hit the, whatchamacallit, the +1 suffix the first time. I didn't have to redo any of the suffixes ever. Like, this one probably cost me like legitimately less than 30 div to make, and it's worth over 200. This one is pretty much finished now, and I think it's fair to say it was for sure less than 50. I think it probably cost me, it's gonna at the end of the day cost me like, yeah, 40 to 50, 55 at the most. But it's worth over 200 div. Like, if I div this one and it winds up being even better than the last one, it could be worth as much as almost 300 div. Like, I don't even know what exactly. I'm getting kind of sidetracked here, but I've had so much fun learning how to craft, and like, I hear Cast on Comet out here talking about his fucking struggles with divine orbs. What's going on? Alright, so mine Mine is 15, 20, 14, 20, 53. Mine is like this one. Mine is in a way actually technically better than this one. Low-key, I did not even realize that mine is this good. Cause mine has, so this one has 62% crit damage and 23% critical hit chance, but only 15% spell damage. Mine has 60% increased critical spell damage and 21% increased critical hit chance. So mine's like a little bit worse than this one. That's for sale for 350. So I could probably easily sell mine for 300. And I'm gonna try to make this second one the same outcome, but it's going in my gloves. But after that, bro, honestly, I might start trying to just profit craft some of these jewels. I don't know how much they'll still sell though at this point, but I mean, they're really not that bad. Like chaos spamming the, first off, you might already have a jewel. So like this one, I've already got it here. Although I would have to do, oh my god, this one is fucking cracked. This one would be worth it to use a Sinistral Annulment on, because at that point I'll put the Preserved Cranium on, and then two of the three mods that it could hit, that it could fracture, are good. And it will also cost money to div this, but assuming that you div that, why is that one? Oh, I was tripping. It's because it's double crit. So yeah, when you do this one, honestly, you could technically do, because these double crit ones are also still worth a decent amount. So you could like YOLO slam and see if you hit the +1 suffix, and then all you'd have to do is add crit damage. And then finish the prefixes, and you would still have an expensive jewel. But if I was going to do it, I would be going for the 300 div one. So this would just be an almost guaranteed fracture. I wonder... Fuck, I'm not even thinking right here. All these are gonna just be missed. let's do like 20 div for some busted ass jewels, dude. These people are tripping. So yeah, you're not even gonna find this fractured, but not like a fractured one for you to craft on. Like you've got to fracture it yourself. So considering before I got this one to this other one to that point, I think it's worth it to have an almost guaranteed fracture. So yeah, sinistral, annul the prefix, divot, put the fucking cranium on it, and you gotta divot and get both of these perfect, which is a fucking, I mean, I guess if you had them like one perfect and one that's like one off, it might be acceptable, but unless I started fucking going on like my 20th div and I hadn't hit it, I think I would probably try to get them both perfect. But anyways, that's it. That's what I've been up to. That's my thoughts on what you guys were talking about. The ascendancies, I think, are obviously in some cases bad, but I don't think in every case the way that you fix them is by having some crazy fucking game changing gnarly fucking addition. I think you can just put good utility that allows people to make creative different builds and it still works. I think the archetypes of cold and lightning have the most utility and feel the best, and I think they need to have other stuff like when you bleed, like chance to eviscerate, and it slows, and it needs to have like gurgling, sloshing sounds and splashing shit all over the place. And same with poison, like fucking bubbling sound and fucking gases flying everywhere and shit. I don't know, like super something way more stimulating than what it currently is, and that makes it like feel like it's popping off more when you're doing the damage at the same time as you're fucking, like the faster you're ticking, you could have sound bubbling sounds, or I don't know, but you could definitely somehow make it more appealing, because as it is, I think it's just undeniable that freezing, exploding, and extra damage is just the best. And then the last thing was oh yeah, the game being too easy. I think the solution to that is challenging yourself. Do a temporalis run. Learn how to make more currency. Learn how to profit craft. Get a character to max endgame fully built out. Like the game is challenging in a lot of different ways other than just killing the monsters, and it's like once you get good enough at the game to where you're gonna have decent gear and campaign, and you're gonna be able to do, like, if all you have to do is one round of boss mechanics or half a round of boss mechanics, then you're probably not gonna die most of the time. And this is why a lot of people do hardcore, is like the game gets too easy, right? They do Soul Self-Found, the game gets too easy. So I don't know, it's like the solutions to that are already there, and the reality is that the game is already super hard for people until you do, like, I don't know how much you guys have done collectively, but I've at this point got like probably less than 20 but more than 15 days played, and it's like until you have at least that much time played, there's I mean, who is it? Ziz talks about people have 10,000 hours played and they're still a noob. I think that's got to be somewhat of a joke, but they also kind of seem like they are serious when they say that. So I don't know. I think I understand enough about the game to where I could at least fumble my way through a build, and the game would probably feel pretty hard again. Like, I don't know. That's actually not true because the game didn't. I didn't use a build for the Frost Art Ice Wall or whatever build that I did for leveling, and even though when I looked at what the actual build guide was for the leveling guide for that, I had made so many suboptimal choices, and when I switched everything around to min-max that build before I switched to, because I wanted to see what it was like when it was done properly, and it was way better, but it still started underperforming, I would say around like tier 11, and that's where I switched to Cast on Comet. But yeah, it's been a fun lead for me. I think you guys are right overall that casters could use more reasons to play other archetypes, but I guess Ice Nova Cast on Comet is semi off meta considering it's like Spark and Lightning Warp, I would say, are the ones I've seen people using. I don't know if I've seen any popular creators playing this particular build. So thank you to Lexiu for coming up with this sick ass cold archetype, freezing, comet dropping, giant flaming comet dropping archetype build. Because this shit's sick and it's super fun to play. So yeah, good luck to everyone on the rest of their season and next season. And yeah, that's it. Cheers.